Rev up your engines! All right, people like mid-sized SUVs. But should you buy one used? Well, considering you want to buy a new RX 350, in the real world with the coronavirus crap, they're going to start at about $55,000. Now, they bought this one for $15,500 last year. They've had it a year. They haven't had any real problems with it, that they're wondering, hey, did they get a good deal or not? Well, in today's coronavirus, they got a decent deal. Now, as we look, realize one thing. This Lexus was, as the sign says, made in Canada. Same place my Matrix was made. They just decided to go to full Lexus production there in Canada because guess what? This is a mid-sized SUV. Now it is somewhat bigger, not outrageously bigger, but it's incredibly more expensive, which means an incredibly larger profit for Lexus. Toyota, Lexus, same company, right? They want to make bigger vehicles that they can make more profit on. They sell the heck out of these. People love them. They can last forever. So if you find a used one like this, got maybe 115,000 miles on it, $14,500 or so, hey, it's a good car if you get it checked out. Now, believe me, I've had people bring me ones that people never changed the oil, the engine were destroyed. You still want to get them checked out. But as you can see, this is a 2012 and the leather's still in good shape. You're always going to get a little cracking. You can dye it and then seal it if you want it to look perfect. And of course the back's in a little bit better shape. People don't generally use them. It's got the luxury AC heat vents in the back. Got a big trunk. They got a kiddie pool in there. Flip those down. You can carry a lot of stuff. You can also, as you see, tow. Not that people really tow that much with these, but you got a boat or a small camper. You could tow them if you wanted to. Realize this baby came from Michigan. So first thing we're going to notice, it's going to have the Michigan superficial rust, but look, the frame's still solid as can be. As you can see in the back here, these bolts are pretty rusted. But again, that's superficial rust. The frame itself, you're going to see this on Michigan cars all day long. If you are an absolute fanatic, you buy one of these like this, you get wire brushes, you could cut it all off and then paint it with primer coat so the rust wouldn't be there if you wanted to. And as we go to the front, we can see the stock Lexus wheels are still in pretty good shape. And when we go to the front, we can see there's drive shafts in the front. So this is an all-wheel drive car with Lexus' system that works quite well. It's still performing flawlessly. We'll check the engine out. You can hear it's still got a pretty quiet engine. Being its age, it's got a metal timing chain. Unlike the V6 Hondas, that many of them are still running rubber timing belts that have to be changed or the pistons hit the valves and destroy the engine. These babies have used timing chains for quite some time. They're pretty much bulletproof. As long as you use full synthetic oil and change it every 5,000 miles or so, these engines have an unlimited lifespan. But you still gotta change the oil, because a guy brought me one months ago. All the spark plug was covered with burnt oil. It was misfiring. The previous owners, well, there were like 3 before he bought it. All those owners, somebody didn't maintain them. Maybe none of them did. And it was, I told him he had to get rid of that thing as soon as he possibly could. This thing, no, it was taken care of. It's got ABS brakes and everything that works perfectly fine. But it doesn't have turbos. It doesn't have that dynamic force stuff that Toyota has that, yeah, it gets better gas mileage, puts out more power, but it's immensely more complex. This is a tried, true, and proven design. But let's see if it's gonna make me eat my own words. Plug it in, check it out. It's a Lexus, got the VIN. I realize it may be a 2016, a little bit older, but it's luxury. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. My back and butt are cool enough because it's got air conditioning seats, also has heated seats. It's got power windows, it's got power seats that have 3 memories on them. Got a lot of controls on your steering column. A beautiful black, silver, and wood grain steering wheel, still in good shape. The obligatory sunroof. Everything's normal except the engine. Well, he told me about that. It's got 2 codes. Position sensor over retarded bank 1. Sensor B, timing over retarded bank 1. Same code, right? Now, it runs perfectly fine. It's got no other codes. It might need a sensor, but more often, easily could have had a little bit of bad gas. It'll trip the code. Nobody ever reset it. So we're going to reset it before we take the trip. We'll look at data now. Read data stream. You can see right here, we got 281 bits of data stream to analyze. That's quite a bit. Voltage on the battery module is 13.38. That's good. See, bank 1, sensor 1, bank 2, sensor 1. The lambda is 1.00, which is perfect. Doesn't matter that now it's got like 120 something thousand miles on it. It is still running absolutely perfect for the air-fuel ratio. These things are well designed. I mean, look, it's sitting there idling. You can't feel anything shaking. And if you're curious about data, this has 2 cats on it, right? Well, look, it's just like it's supposed to be. The front bank 1 sensor one is 752 degrees. The rear sensor on bank 1 is 460. It's cooler. The back one is 752.9, exactly the same. And the back one is 460.94, 460.1. They're both the same. Perfection. They're supposed to be cooler in the back than the front. As we see the misfire data, there is none. Cylinder 1 misfire 0, 0, 0, 0. We'll let it update. Takes a little while to update. 5 is 0 and 6 is 0. Not misfiring at all. And we go through the rest of the data and it's all fine. So where we go on a road test? Put in reverse. Kind of a small screen on the backup. I mean, it's there, but it's a little bit dark too. It's not too impressive. They could have done a better job on a backup camera. Now you can see why people like them, because you're pretty high up in the air. You got a good view, but you're not outrageously high. That it's a decent handling vehicle. Now truthfully, the luxury Acuras, they handle a little bit better than these do. These are not bad handling cars, but if you're a speed demon and you want to be a maniac, you're better off with an Acura, because they've got transmissions that shift a little tighter, and they also have a little bit tighter suspension for cornering. But if you're just a person driving around, hey, they're comfy. And they've certainly got plenty good brakes. The ABS works fine, no problems with that. They're not race cars, but they're not slow either. So here we go to our little drag strip. We'll come to a stop, since there's nobody behind us, and we'll step on the gas. Got decent pickup, you can feel it. The engine shifts extremely smoothly still. We're already going 60 miles an hour. No slouch. Realize it's no turbo, it's just a regular, normally aspirated engine. A one that can last hundreds of thousands of miles if only you change the oil. People obviously did on this one. And as we go down the road, I'm listening. I don't hear any wheel bearings, they're still fine. The differential's nice and quiet for the rear. They're nice, luxury, mid-sized SUVs. Now, since he bought his used, it's always a gamble, but he paid $14,500. He looked at the new ones and they were all well over $60,000 actual price when he looked to buy one at a dealer and take it out. And he did buy this one at a Lexus dealer. But do realize one thing, he's getting 19.3 miles a gallon. You get a relatively large vehicle, one that is an SUV, relatively high up in the air, with a decent engine in it. You're not going to get great gas mileage. SUVs do not get great gas mileage unless you're dealing with either a hybrid or an electric one. But consider they bought this used, $14,500. The new one would have cost them $55,000. For $40,000, you can buy an awful lot of gasoline. Lexus told you, oh, it's kind of low tech. I mean, this thing's still got a CD player in it, you know? Of course, you can always put an Android in if you want. That's what I always do. Of course, when you want to pass people, you got plenty of passing power. And notice, it's on eco mode now, but watch what happens when we stomp on it. It turns the eco mode off. I like that. Be old-fashioned, but check it out. There's an actual compass built in. It shows we're going west. And I like it because when we're traveling around and using our Google phone to get us from here to there, often we turn up and we go, I wonder which way we go. And then the voice says, go east on Richards Road. Well, I don't know which is east and west. I do now. I got a compass. I can look out there and I'll know. It really makes it a lot easier. Old tech on top of new tech. It certainly is a nice, quiet SUV for cruising around the countryside. Now, I reset those codes, so when we get back, I'll see if the codes came back for weird correlation on the crankshaft position sensors. Odds are it probably won't. Runs like a clock. I don't see any running problems. So I'm assuming somebody just didn't reset that stuff. So now we're back. I'll check out the machine and lo and behold, the codes are gone. Didn't have any come back. Maybe over time they will. We'd have to check it out further, but they haven't come back. It ran perfectly fine. I can't see anything wrong without runs. So what do I have to say about buying a Lexus RX 350? Well, I got one gigantic beef. They cost too much money. But instead of spending $55,000, if you can find one in this shape for $14,500, buy it. Take advantage of something that's overbuilt. Now, these aren't built in Japan. They're built in Cambridge, Ontario, same place my Matrix was built. They do a great job building cars there. Nothing wrong with buying them there. The engines and transmissions are still made in Japan. Don't worry about that. But they're put together perfectly fine. You can save that kind of money on a vehicle that's going to last that long. Go right ahead. Now, if you're looking at a Chrysler SUV, no, do not buy one with 119,000 miles on it. Regardless of the price, it probably will fall apart in front of your very eyes. But these, you find a good used one, you're getting a deal. This thing will probably last for years. in years. Getting a used one of these can be a really smart move. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.